I don't do comic book conventions. I've never been to one. I have 3 different cowls, and there's one that I have that it's the most movie accurate, but holy crap, it's like super thick rubber, and like getting it on, holy shit, can't fucking do it. Anyway, okay, so this right here is the very first episode of Killing Time with me, your host, Hector Sanchez. My first guest is my good friend, Pearl Rhodes. Now, I would say that this has got to be I don't know if it would be the worst, but it's a horrible misrepresentation of what Killing Time, the podcast, is going to be all about. Because I had this in mind. This is supposed to be the Halloween episode, but I want to call it A Dark Night with Giggles. And I had postponed this a couple of weeks to try and like really figure out like, well, what's this podcast going to be about? And I thought I would have figured it out by now. And I guess I kind of have, but coincidentally, it falls in line with the Halloween episode. So not every episode is going to be in costume.
Oh, really?
All right. Anyway, so in terms of our costumes, which may or may not in any way resemble any copyrighted characters from a particular studio, for example, so no need to send cease and desist letters. But tell me a little bit about your costume. Where'd it come from? How'd you make it?
All right. So, I was that Joker trailer came out, and immediately as soon as I saw the trailer, I was like, oh my god, Giggles. Like, it was an immediate creation of a parody. Giggles. Like, that's it. Giggles. And so I was like, well, where am I going to find the costume, this and that? And so we went hunting for one, but Lasseter Holmes made the vest and the tie, and then I found the wig, and I was like, well, let me add some pigtails. And then he made a gigantic lollipop for the character, and here's Giggles.
So I guess we could back it up a little bit. Like, both of us do video production for a living, right? And actually, like, going back, like this podcast, since it's the first one, it's probably gonna be super scattered because it's a Halloween episode and the introduction to what this whole stupid thing is supposed to be about. So I kind of wanted to talk about not just like our jobs, but like movies in general. So this would be a great way, like the inspiration that you have for this character. Also, what I wanted to talk about is just like our work that we do, movies that we like. And I wanted to bring it on because like I thought that was such a great parody that you did for the character of Giggles. Like, how long did it take you to make that? And if someone wanted to see it, where could they find it?
Okay. Thank you. They can see it on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/pearlrhodes. And it took a month to make. We tested the concept, but it was a lot of CGI work to composite blue screen onto the screen, or in After Effects. So yeah, it took a month.
Okay. For this getup that I have, it's funny because like when people ask me about the whole Dark Knight costume that I have, like where did I get it? Like why do I even have it? And so I was actually here at work. I work at an advertising agency, Image House Media, the best advertising agency in all of Texas. And one day I went out to lunch with a buddy of mine, and he was saying, I don't get people. All my friends, they go to work and they go home. And they go to work and they go home. Nobody has hobbies anymore. And this friend that I was talking to, I mean, he plays the drums. He likes to write stories. He's in a band. He has a whole bunch of stuff that he does just for fun. And I was thinking, like, I'm one of those people. All I do is I would go to work and then I would go to the gym. I go to work and I go to the gym. And I wouldn't necessarily say that I have fun at the gym. Like, I go it for like maintenance. like brushing your teeth or something. Like I wouldn't say I like have fun doing it. I know people are like that, but I'm not one of them. I don't have fun at the gym. I barely find it relaxing. So I thought about, well, I used to collect stuff as a kid. You know, I used to collect like comic books and stuff. And so I thought, well, one day I saw this advertisement for this one company in England that would make these cowls. And I was blown away by like, dude, that looks just like the comic book. And I figured out like, oh, well, they also sell the gloves and the gauntlets and whatever. And so I thought, you know, I'm gonna like build up on it. I'm gonna get the cowl, save a little bit of money, and then I'll get the gloves and I'll get the gauntlets. And I just slowly built it up. So I was like, all right, well, I got a full costume now. And that same buddy, you know, we had a Halloween costume party here at the office a few years back. And people really liked the costume. They're like, oh, dude, it looks freaking awesome. And that same dude was like, you know what you got to do? You got to go to the children's hospital and like visit the kids and stuff. And so I was like, well, crap, you're right. I got to do that now. So I did that for a while. And now I have the suit. And it kind of like took a whole, like a mind of its own, where like people know me for having this suit and they're like, oh, do you go to comic book conventions? And it's like, no, I don't. So that's how this thing got started. And I don't know if killing time with Hector Sanchez is one thing, and like doing like a Dark Knight podcast is going to be a different thing. I don't know if that's going to happen, but if it does, holy crap, I am dying in this thing. Like there's so much just sweat building up, and it's awful. But I think one of the cool things that you can do with the podcast, check this out. Underneath this table on your right hand side, there's a little something for you. A little celebration for being the first guest on the first episode. Go ahead, check it out. You got something under your seat.
Do I?
Go ahead. Right down there. Underneath the cloth. It's hidden. You gotta look for it.
Oh my gosh.
Do you see it?
I do.
You do. What is it?
It's you. It's a bag.
Not necessarily.
It's a bag of decorated with characters: Batman, Joker, Penguin, Robin,
And inside the bag is a
bomb.
What could it be?
What could it be? Right. I open it now?
Go ahead.
All right.
The audience is waiting in suspense. What could it be for the first guest of A Dark Night with Giggles?
It feels like a cup.
Could be.
Oh my god.
For those listening, she reached into the bag and she pulled out a...
It's my dad.
her father.
Joker.
There you go. So,
you.
hey, it's yours. Bam.
Thank you, Batman.
I may or may not be Batman.
Thank you.
That is not legally finalized just yet.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hector.
Thank you. And you know what? One of the reasons why this took so long for me to do the podcast, I was actually supposed to start in early September, but I got thrown a monkey wrench by our good friend Carlos Campos. So I thought, well, it would be cool. Carlos Campos, for those who are listening and watching, he is probably the best grip in all of Texas, if not the world. And so I thought, well, I want him to be like on the show and like, hey, we could like do the lighting setup together because he's so talented in that kind of field, right?
Yeah.
And so I was talking to him about it. He's like super jazzed about it. And I said, dude, you got to come on the show. He's like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to be in front of the camera. I'm behind the camera. I don't want to be in front of the camera. And so in the beginning, I was thinking, oh, I know so many video production people. I can just talk to Pearl, and I can talk to Carlos, and I can talk to Isaac. Just bring them on, have some drinks that may or may not contain alcohol, perhaps, and we could just BS about video production and work and all that stuff. And then it didn't occur to me that someone might say, I don't want to do it. And I was like, well, crap. Now I have to figure out, okay, well, if someone does say, I don't want to, I got to figure out, okay, well, if I'm going to do one by myself, especially with like COVID and stuff, it's like, okay, I got to like refigure everything out. And I finally did just in time for Halloween. So that's how, going back to, this is why this is the way it is.
I see.
I would say that like one of the things that I'm going to be working on, because I mean, ideally the normal podcast is supposed to be about like, you know, new ways to make money. And one of the things that I am considering doing, and it's going to be for a future podcast. Like I'm working on it. It's in the works. It's coming like maybe like in another 2 weeks or something. I'm going to test out the process of actually making money, being a photographer and having like your own like OnlyFans site. Have you heard of that? OnlyFans? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've been informed of like several models that work here in the Valley that make actually a pretty good living just doing that. And as a photographer, let me look into it. I'm going to try. Like the thing that appeals to me as a business, I don't have to go and collect money. Like it's going to be coming in. Ideally, you know, you just collect every month. The money's there. You don't have to approach clients. You don't have to bill clients. You just, hey, I did this thing for you. Remember, like 2 weeks ago, I sent you the invoice. I haven't got payment yet. Like the older I get, like the more that kind of frustrates me. Like let's just see if it works. It's one of the things that I'm going to test it out.
So you're going to be the photographer.
The photographer.
For these OnlyFans.
Models.
Ladies, okay.
Right.
Or men.
And it might not work. And if it doesn't work, there's an episode like, hey, you know what? I looked into it. I tried it. Yeah, it's not all it's cracked up to be.
Yeah. Like, I got a direct message on Instagram. It's like, hey, do you have an OnlyFans? And I was like, what's that? So I looked it up. I was like, oh, no, I don't have an OnlyFans. And I'm not going to have one.
I know this one photographer that he works with models here in the Valley. And he's like, I asked him, I was like, well, how much money do you make off of it? Because he has his own as the photographer. Mm-hmm. And he was saying, well, I make like on average, like, give or take $1,000 a month. But I don't even really promote myself as a, like, it's just kind of just randomly comes in. But there's a couple of models here in the Valley, and he mentioned one, and I think I know who he's talking about. There's this one model that makes $10,000 a month on average, give or take $10,000 a month. And it seems like all she really does is just travel for a living. Like,
Okay.
I'm going to go to Vegas. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to go over there, do a photo shoot. I mean, it's her job to stay in like peak shape, stay in like good, form and good health and whatever. But if you could pull it off, like, man, $10,000, I'll eat a salad every day, $10,000 a month, and hit the gym and stuff. I don't know.
No, I mean, yeah. Like, yeah. If you're going to be on camera, because even I've been like, now that I have a chance to rest, because, you know, fortunately I had a job during the summer, you know, a big network company. Now I have like, okay, what am I gonna do now? Like, okay, YouTube, this and that, you know. So when I think about something, like, I really, really, really think about it, you know. And I could spend months, I could spend about a year before I make a decision on whatever I'm gonna implement. And then I was like, okay, so I'm gonna separate my vlogs into my vlog channel, and I'm gonna do, because I started vlogging it. It's been a crazy road. I've been trying to vlog in 2010. I had a channel, I had videos, stuff happens, you know, restarted the channel, whatever. And I'm like, if I'm gonna vlog, I'm gonna make money off of this. And I'm like, and if I gotta be the best version of myself, and the best version of myself is being in shape. You know, we're not always, I mean, pumpkin spice lattes, I mean, I'm a sucker for sugar. Like, I even openly said it, but yeah, like what you said, I was like, if you're going to be putting yourself out there, be the best version of yourself and just put in the work for working out or whatever. Because yeah, I mean, I've been reading about and looking up about making money, making ways of making money online, and there are a lot of ways to make money online, and you're talking exactly that amount, and it's not really out there. You just have to do the work and research it and implement it and work on it,
Yeah.
There was another question you asked before, and I was like, let me think about it.
It was gonna be like more like a advice or whatever.
Oh, okay. I hope that photography business side hustle works out.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, because I mean, like right now, work is, at least for us, like for the video and photography department, work is super slow. No one wants to get together right now. So like you got to come up with something. So that potentially, like let's just say we're gonna see if it works or not. If it does work, great. If not, then hey, you tried it, move on. So yeah. we'll see.
Are you gonna keep everybody informed in this podcast?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like, oh, I tried it and it didn't work. It totally didn't work, and this is why it didn't work, and whatever. So, and there could be a way like it would have worked if I tried this differently. So try that, And it also like it just to talk to these models, like all the crap that they have to go through to be in shape. Like, okay, if you were to be a successful model doing that, what does it take? What does it really take? What kind of crap do you really have to put up with? Because I'm sure that these guys must put up with like sleazy photographers and oh my god, just the online crap that you must get from your fans. Like, is it really worth it? And it might be. Like, yeah, I get a whole bunch of super sexually harassive kind of messages online, but it comes with the job. Like, I don't know. I'm gonna see. Should be interesting at least. Like,
yeah.
I'd watch that. I'd listen to that.
It is crazy watching you like Batman, because I'm just sitting over here like, whoa, Batman.
Is it weird? Does it feel weird?
I don't know where you're looking, right? And then like, I think the second part is like, okay, maybe he can see through that, and he has been looking.
I can really just see straight. If I look off to the sides, like because of the holes, like I could see up to here.
So you can't see my hands?
I could see your hand because like you go that way, right? Yeah, I can still see your. If I have to look straight at you, like if I start going like this, I could just see up to your right shoulder.
Wow, Batman.
It's very difficult.
That's not very good.
Well, okay, so like the other two masks that I have, like they have the holes, so like you can see my eyes, but I would have to wear the makeup, and like sometimes with the sweat that is gonna come
drips
through.
So you're doing the Robert Pattinson look?
Yeah. Man, we could have talked about that. Robert Pattinson. That's still up there.
I look forward to that, honestly.
Yeah, me too. I'm gonna give it a shot because I was one of the first ones that crapped all over Heath Ledger. Like, what? He's gonna be the Joker? Oh, it's gonna be awful. And I was like, oh my god, he knocked it out of the park. And I thought the same thing with Ben Affleck. Like, what? He's gonna be Batman? Oh, that's gonna be awful. And actually, yeah, he was pretty good.
Yeah, I liked it when I heard, and everybody was like, I was like, wait a second, he's got that look of like arrogant rich boy. And then Robert Pattinson, like I love the direction it's going, the style or whatever, like that. I look forward to that for sure.
Man, we could talk about this also.
Yeah.
You wanna?
I mean, I didn't.
All right, well, we could end it there.
I guess the advice, right, that I could give, right?
If you want.
Yeah. To professionals or like filmmakers or just, I don't know, right? Like, who is our audience?
I would say that, yeah, like people that are in the film photography industry, or just people that like talking about behind the scenes of movie, like just movie lovers in general.
Okay.
And if you're thinking about getting in the business, this is what it's really like.
If you're thinking about getting in the business, I advise you to just be yourself. And if you have all the talents in place, if you know how to do everything, which like back then for some reason it was frowned upon. I would be like, I do everything, and then I'd be advised, you should learn one thing. you know. And then now they praise everybody that does everything. And I'm just like, what happened? But just believe in yourself, have confidence, and if you're working on something and you want to get excited and share it, I advise you to finish the project first and then share it. So like plan your stuff in advance before you I guess let it free or set it free. Therefore, if something happens and it's not possible, then you don't have like, then you know you're not really held accountable, like, oh well, you said you're gonna do this, you know what I mean? Just, it's nice to keep things to yourself and like just, you know, because the like it goes with energy wise. For some reason when people say what they're gonna do, like you don't know who's seeing what or what vibes there are of people that are like, oh well, I hope they fail, you know, you don't know. So it's just okay. And then, you know, it comes like, that's the only thing, you know, that's it.
Yeah, just do it.
Just do it.
Like Nike, just do it.
Sponsored by.
Sponsored by. Yeah, we gotta get some sponsors for this thing. Make some dough. Do you know how many freaking sponsors? I mean, the freaking there's the lighting company, Kino. You could get Aperture. Freaking, oh my God, B&H. I'm sending your kids to freaking college, B&H. You know how much crap I have bought from B&H?
I understand.
Be a sponsor. Would it kill you to be a sponsor, B&H? Jesus. We're dying here. When I was in college, I had to take like a TV production class, and I was actually like a host of a political like little mini talk show, and like everybody had their roles. It was like people who really wanted to be a camera guy. Okay, you're gonna be camera A, camera B, camera C. Oh, I really want to be a director. Okay, well, we'll put you upstairs. You will be with like next to the guy on the switchboard and whatever. And like they needed somebody to be in front of the camera, and I kind of wanted to do everything, but they said, you know what? This guy, we'll put him in front of the camera. So I had like my own little political talk show. I don't know if I'm gonna get into that, like politics. Like, if anything, I was thinking about having like little segments for the regular Killing Time with Hector podcast, right? So, like doing this kind of stuff, I was thinking about having a segment of just the tip, you know? So like just tips about business and how do you film stuff or whatever. Random rants would be another, like, okay, here, it's time for like a random rant about, you know, whatever. It could be like, this movie freaking sucks and here's why. Or if it is going to be just about politics, like, oh my God, but there's so much shit about politics right now that is like,
well, time is ticking. It's almost over.
I mean, that's
God.
the thing. You can talk about politics all the time, and like I want to break from it, you know? Like, I could talk about it freaking forever, but I need a break. You know?
And then like people, they get on Twitter, you read the tweets, and they fight literally about anything, and it's so funny. And then like on YouTube, I'm subscribed to like a lot of spiritual channels, and there's this one, like she posted something, and then she said like it turned out to be that this person got arrested for something, but then they're doing time for something way worse that having to do with children. And then she said something, and then her followers were like, I thought you were unbiased. I thought everything was supposed to be what's that thing, like, you know, like there's no black or white, it's just, I don't know, I thought you were against polarity or whatever. And I'm like, and then they started bickering. I'm like, you cannot just have a calm expression of your opinions. If not, somebody is just gonna be like, no, and here's why. You know, I mean, it doesn't matter. Like, I think that I can't wait till this is over so that decency can return.
It will never be over. The internet will always be shitty. Like, in fact, like for even this, if this is like the behind the scenes or after cut, if whatever the hell I call this, if I air any of this stuff, I am not going to respond to or even read the comment section. No good has ever come from the comments section. Like, I'm going to post this, and whatever the hell people say, I'm not going to read it. It is what it is, and if you like it, you like it, and if you don't, screw off.
Yeah, go make your own talk show.
Yeah, go make your own podcast.
Exactly.
See how well yours comes out. This is the first. The first is always the worst.
Come back when you have questions about what microphone to use.
Right. Well, how do you deal? Because you've had your own YouTube stuff for a while. How do you handle all the crap? You must get it. Everybody. I don't know if anybody that has like, oh, it's all, smiles and good wishes on the internet for me.
No.
Of course not. What do you deal with?
No. With my Shakira video, like, she has an army of fans, and understandably.
Oh my God, that didn't even occur to me. All the shit that you must have gotten from Shakira. Well, her fans.
Yeah, her fans, like the army, of fans. Like, I guess, well merited. She's a great humanitarian. She's a great performer. But these fans were like, one of them threatened to kill me.
Oh my God. I
was like, what? I'm like, and then I looked this up. It was a little girl. I'm like, I don't care if you're a little girl. I'm gonna report you. So I reported her, and I was like, she wants to kill me. Yeah, I got so much hate. So, like, how dare you, or who do you think you are, you American woman? And then I was like, well, American woman? I'm like Hispanic. And then I was like, where are they from? And then so I looked them up. They were like from South America, and I'm like, that's crazy. Like that. I was like, whoa. So like Hispanics are looked at like American women from like other continents. You know what I mean? Like that blew my mind. But I got so, and then I lost track of it, and then went back to school, all that stuff. But it was still getting comments, and then like one day I just decided to go back and just read them, all the ones I had not responded. And there was one, it's like, who told you this was fun? I mean, I remember, but this other person who goes back to see that video because she likes it, she started sticking up for me, like, dude, this is just a parody. Don't take it so, like, don't take it so serious. Or like, and I don't know, like, people, like, there's a scene where, okay, in She-Wolf, there's a cage. The only way I could get creative was get a crib, like, it's like a cage, right? So then people were like, it's not even a cage. Why would you, why are you no, and then some of the comments are so funny because I used like my cousin, my little cousin in the video, and they're like, how could you abuse her? How could you do this to her? She's probably a teenager now and she hates herself. I mean, they're funny.
It's a family member. She's fine. I could cage him.
And even now for for the Joker parody, like now, I put a disclaimer on my videos. Like, if you are abusive or you're being a bully, like it's worded better. If you're being offensive to anybody, I will block or delete you. Like, and I will delete your comment. Like, I will not have someone being mean to anybody else. So like, I got a comment that said stupid, and I was like, that was like
gone.
Yeah, delete.
Yeah.
Exactly, gone.
Yeah, because I mean, like, there's gonna be so much crap that and it's part of the just a way about publishing anything like on the internet. And actually, like, that was also one of the things that kind of held me back. Like, man, is anyone gonna want to give a shit about whatever advice I may or may not have had? Like, I would figure, like, well, what do you know? Have you been like working on big budget blockbuster movies? No? Then shut up. Who cares what you think? Like that, like all those kind of things would get in my head. But I'm thinking, look, if you're fresh out of college or you're like in high school and you want to learn something, like, look, I got something that you can learn, like something that's worth listening to. And like, hey, take it with a grain of salt. If it applies to you, great. And if not, then not,
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah, just do you.
Yeah,
and
you
even
do
if,
you.
Exactly. And if they're not even if they're not in the film community, or they don't even like to talk about movies, the fact that you're even doing it could inspire someone to do their own podcast about something they like, cooking, whatever.
Right.
So just be a light.
Yeah. Don't be an asshole. See, this is fun. This is fun. Now I just gotta try and do this every week or every other week. This is the first one.
Do you have your set list?
Nah, not really.
Do you want to?
I do want to. Like, I wanted to talk to. I thought Carlos would be a good start because he would help me out with the lighting and like he knows lighting. And I think the best way, if you want to get into doing big budget stuff, because like actually that's what the whole podcast is supposed to be about. I have been drinking. This isn't water.
Oh, really?
If you wanted to get into doing bigger budget things, like you don't want to just do the, hey, come down to Larry's car shop or I got blah blah blah, because like every local market has that guy. Mm-hmm. And like you could do those kind of commercials, and which is fine. There is money there, not a lot, but the issue is if you only do that kind of stuff, your demo is only going to be filled with that kind of stuff. So if you want to level up, you either have to do stuff on the side or you got to find another avenue, right? So I would think my other advice, and what I wanted, freaking Carlos, if you're watching this, like the advice would be, I think the easiest way, like I want to do big budget stuff, the best way to get in there is being a grip. Because it's something that nobody really thinks about. Everyone wants to be, I want to be the actor, and I want to be the director, and I want to be the camera operator or whatever. Those jobs on a professional level, like the A game kind of people, those jobs are hard to get. You got to be in the industry for a long time. No one's just going to give it to some random dude. Let me see your demo. Hey, I've been to Larry's car shop. They're not going to give you that job. They're just not. But like a grip, you need a whole bunch of grips. And like it would be the best way to get in there, make your network, and then be like, hey, you know what? Like I've been a grip for a long time, and now I know the DP for A, B, and C. Let me be your third camera assistant. Let me be your second. And once you know enough people, like, hey, you know what? I could be a DP. Like it would be the best way if that's the avenue you want to go. And it's something that nobody says, I want to be a grip. Nobody really says that. And there's like you need a whole bunch of them. But like a director, you just need one director. You want to be the main actor for this commercial, this is just that one spot. So like that, see that you can learn. Yeah. You can learn some stuff from this stupid podcast.
Yeah, yeah, that's another thing. It's like I guess, yeah, the younger self, either it depends on where you want to start, right? So if you want to start in production or whatever, definitely if you're young, like 18, 17, be a PA, start off.
Yeah.
You know, or like an actor, start off as an extra, you know. I'll never forget when I was, it was 2007, they were doing Friday Night Lights in Brownsville, and I was an extra, and this lady, she's like, hey, like, I do this all the time. I'm an extra for like these major things. Here's my number. Let me help you out. I regret it. Till this day, I regret it.
Really? Why?
I lost her number.
Oh.
I know. I lost her number. And,
no.
like, what could have been? Like, she was literally like an angel. Like, here, I can help you. You know, and we were on, like, on a set. Like, a real set. Extras, getting paid for our time, you know? So, yeah, if you start off that, you know, just exactly like what you said.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my God. And, I tried to be an extra for Pearl Harbor, the movie.
Uh-huh.
Oh my God. I didn't get it. I was super pissed. I was in high school at the time, right? And so they're shooting Pearl Harbor. I was like, oh my God, Pearl Harbor and like Michael Bay. This is before Michael Bay was really crapped on. He was still thought of as like, oh my God, Michael Bay is the next big thing. He's still a good director. Like obviously if you were to have the opportunity to work on a Michael Bay movie, you freaking take it, even now. But it was before everyone thought like all he does is explosions. Anyway, they're gonna shoot Pearl Harbor. They had some scenes that they're gonna shoot in Corpus Christi. So me and Jorge, we both went out there to try to audition to be just running in the background for something. We're just standing there in a sailor suit, right? Neither one of us got picked, obviously, and I was super pissed about that because there was this other dude in my high school. In Memorial, that he did get picked, like to be an extra, And we're both relatively the same. We're both 5'11", relatively tall for a high school guy. We're the same age, the same class, but he was white, blue-eyed, blonde hair, and I was brown, dark brown, blackish hair, and like he got the thing and I didn't, obviously. And then they liked his look so much that they gave him a line in the movie that got cut out, apparently. Like, they gave him a line, they didn't use it, so he's not in there. But I was super pissed. I was like, whenever they make a movie like that, it's always a bunch of white people, but there was a whole bunch of Hispanics that took place at Pearl Harbor. There's a whole bunch of minority in all the wars. It's all poor minority people. There's actually, I mean, there's not to degrade the work that white soldiers do, but we're underrepresented, especially in movies. Like, there's actually a lot of minorities that should be in these war movies to make it more accurate. And it's like that was almost like my first kind of taste of Hollywood. You're too brown for this movie. We need the white guy. Remember that guy that sits next to you in class, the white guy with blonde hair, blue, there, we need him in the background. Oh, I was pissed.
Oh man, in Hawaii, right? So like, I'm sure there was like people that were like Hawaiian.
We were the same height, the same build, the same age. I'm Hispanic. He's white, blonde hair, blue eyes. And actually, I had a talent agent for a while when I was in college, which was a complete waste of time. Like, you can't really be an actor and not live in LA or Hollywood. Mm-hmm. It's really because I wasn't rich enough to keep on going to auditions, to try and fly out to like big cities and stuff. Like, if you're not living in a big city, forget it. Mm-hmm. Like, that's another like wake up call, like something that someone should tell you, that it's like, oh no, you can do it, just follow your dreams. Like, yeah, but if you don't live in a big city, freaking forget it. It's not impossible. It's highly unlikely in a world that's already highly improbable that you'll get the job. But if you don't even live around the area, like for me in deep South Texas, an agent calls you up, hey, there's this new movie coming out, read this part. Okay, well, you gotta go to LA. The casting call is next Thursday. Can you make it? No, I'm broke. I can't keep on flying for every audition, and you have to audition all the time, because the odds of you getting the gig, you have to do auditions a lot to maybe get one role. And if you don't live in the area, you live halfway across the country. I mean, like now that like their cell phones and like cameras are more available, maybe you could send in a videotape, but they might say, well, we got to see you in person. Like, what do you look like in person? So like, that would be one advice. Like, I know it sucks to hear, but if you don't live in a big city, I mean, you gotta move. If you want to be the actor, like, you can't live in Timbuktu, or in our case, the Valley. Like, highly unlikely. Like, you gotta move. Like, not that there's not a place for Hispanic people. Like, it's becoming better and better for minorities. Like, we're getting more and more roles as the years go on. But if you're not in the big city, it's going to be even rougher than even if you were in the big city. It's going to be rougher. Like, that's another like hard fact. That would be great for the podcast. Not that I want to shit on anyone's dream or anything, but it's real talk, which like was one of the concept names for the podcast. Like just be honest, because a lot of that it's good to have inspirational stuff to listen to, but at the same time, you want someone to give it to you straight. Like, what is it really like? What does it really take? Because no, just follow your dreams and Jimmy G. Willikers. All the good stuff will come your like. No, like you gotta have someone to give it to you straight. Like, look, if you really want to do this, you really want to take this seriously, this is what it takes. And even at that, it still might not work out. But if you're good with that, then go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, when I was working for this company, the producer drove in. He's like, "Wow, what are you doing in this small town? Like, why don't you move to LA and get more jobs over there?" I was like, "Oh, I like it. I mean, yeah, right now because of COVID, this is cozy right now. You know, plus, I mean, a lot of people are moving out of LA.
Yeah.
It's too expensive. You need a permit for everything. There are problems, there's street problems, you know, or the unfortunate saturation of the homeless. You know, it's just making it difficult, and they are moving here. They're moving here, and so over here, it's like a $600,000 house is like nothing. A 200,000 nothing, because they're living in like $1 million houses. $1 million houses. So, I think it's gonna. I think film is gonna come here to Texas.
Yeah, for sure.
It's in Nolana. It's in New Orleans, or you know what I mean. So like, it's gonna make its way there. It's gonna make, when did it start in Georgia? Like 2015, you know. So there was a time when we were gonna move over there to Georgia, but you know, I got hired for a local commercial over here, and that went out the door. But it's gonna come here, and plus YouTube. Like, I know people, like, YouTube people can grow, and they just gotta do it. Like, they can, you know. And a lot of people are focusing on the lack instead of their blessings, instead of what they do have. Like, you know what? I have a phone. I have a personality. Let's do this. Instead of like, oh, I need lights. Oh, I need a camera. Oh, I need an assistant. Oh, I need, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, like I would say that, like, if you wanted to start your own thing, as long as you have a relatively good cell phone, because I mean, a lot of them shoot 4K, if not more. Like, the resolution isn't really an issue, and they all take, I mean, decent. It's not the best. It's good enough to, like, if you want to do a reel, you want to do a podcast, man, you could do it with your phone. And if you want to do lighting, like, you don't have to have the expensive Hollywood cinema grade stuff. You could do it with, like, garage lighting, if you know the stuff.
Those dome lights.
Yeah?
Those dome lights.
A shower curtain for diffusion. You could do it. And you could totally look good. I'm just saying that, like, if you want to do your own personal stuff, there's nothing stopping you from doing it. But you can't take that crap on a gig for a client. You can't show up with garage clamp lamps and charge $5,000 or something like that. That's not going to work.
No. Well, my first client, listen, this is what I have right now, but I will start upgrading once you pay me, you know?
Yeah. I would say that, like, let's just say, like, if you have a cousin that's an attorney or something, and like, okay, look, cousin, I'm going to do your commercial. You know me, I know you. You know the quality of work that I can do. I'm going to show up, and I have garage lights for this first gig, but I'm going to use this first gig to buy the better lights, because you can't show up on a professional thing with, you know, flashlights and stuff. Like, you got to have. But for the first one, like, if you have a cousin or something that's a doctor or a dentist or whatever, and they hire you, great, because they're not going to give you crap like, well, it's my cousin, I'm going to give him a shot, and I'm going to pay him what he's worth or whatever. That would be a great way to start, if you have that. You know, and if not, like, the way that I got started was, I was a substitute teacher for a while, because I graduated during the crash of 2007, 2008, so there wasn't any work back then. Like, I got a job offer to work at one of the news stations, and it was for like I remember I did, I was gonna say the audition, I did, you know, like I signed out for the job opening. I did my job interview, and they tried to test me out on the spot. Like, okay, we want to see how you do under pressure, so we're gonna put you in front of an Avid computer, which I had never used Avid at the time. But if you're editing's editing. It's all import, slice it up, export. It's basically what it is. And it's a news station. It's not like you're doing like Lord of the Rings or whatever. So they put me in front of this thing, and I would let them talk to me like, no, let's continue the interview. You just keep on asking me whatever questions. Let me just keep editing. I'm going to slice out this thing and have it on the air that same day by 5 o'clock. You know, just give me 10 minutes to slice up some BS story that they did. Mm-hmm. And a few days later passes, and I get a call from one of the local news stations, and they say, you know what, Hector, we really like you. We like your personality. We like the way you work. You're clearly very talented. We are prepared to hire you right now, and we can offer you as much as $750. And I was like, an hour? Like $750 an hour? It was just like it's like a quarter above minimum wage. And they're like, oh no, you don't understand, Hector. You're gonna be working nights, weekends, holidays. You're gonna be making a ton in overtime. And I was like, you're not sweetening the deal here. You're not making this any better. And I had just graduated, so I thought, I don't need this. This is my first job offer. I just graduated. I got my college degree. I have a bachelor's degree in this. This is just the first job offer, baby. There's better stuff coming up. I didn't get another job offer for anything for 2 years. 2 years of just signing job application. I remember just trying to get a job interview for being a golf cart driver at the golf course. I couldn't even get an interview because they know, like, this is a guy with a bachelor's degree. The second that he gets a job, like another job offer, he's gonna quit. You know, like that's why they're not gonna hire you. Like, you're overqualified. They know that you're gonna be out the door the moment that something better comes along. So I was a substitute teacher for a while, and there was a cousin of mine that passed away from, he had bone cancer. It was caught too late, spread too much, and unfortunately he passed away. And that cousin of mine was younger than me at the time, you know? And so, like, it kind of hit me hard. It's like, man, he was younger than me and he's already gone. Like, man, I got to take bigger chances. You know, like, I'm playing stuff too safe. Nothing's clearly happening. If you're a substitute teacher, which is a noble profession, highly underrated, very difficult to do, but there's no promotion. There's no working your way to the top as a substitute teacher. You're going nowhere. And, like, there's no promotions or anything, you know? So I was like, all right, let me, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get a credit card. Do not recommend doing this. Lied about how much I was making. And I got a credit card, and that's how I bought, like, my first camera, my first lens, my first tripod, and the lights, and just like, man, just go balls out. Fuck it, you know, like, failure is not an option, because if you don't, and even if it was, even if it's like, you know what, I tried, I made my own little demo reel, I can't really talk to clients, they won't agree to work with me, what's the worst that could happen? Take back the stuff, you know, just try again. And, like, that's how I first got started. It's like, fuck it, take a chance, do it.
Yeah. And then?
Then I did the sushi commercial.
Okay.
And I showed that commercial to Jerry, my boss that works here. And I was like, okay, look, I'm going to show you this commercial I did for a sushi restaurant. Like, look, like tell me what you like about it, but more importantly, tell me what you think I could have done better. Because I know that, like, my boss here, Jerry, would work with, like, other companies, and he would do stuff for, like, budgets that were, like, up there. Well, like, for what I did for $350, he was doing, like, work that's for several thousands of dollars. So I was like, look, just give me your honest feedback. Like, what could I have done better? And so I showed him the commercial, and he was like, dude, you did this for $350? And I was like, yeah, I did it for a friend of mine, you know, just as a favor. So Jerry says, dude, work for me. You know, it's like I'm constantly having to try to negotiate with video production companies, and, like, they're super expensive. I'm thinking about doing stuff in-house so I don't have to export it, you know? Work with me, and that's how I got started.
Oh, wow. How long ago was that?
That was, I think, I'm going to complete 9 years starting in November. So I will be going on my 10th.
Wow.
I'm so old. So old.
No, Batman, don't say that. I see a lot of people say I'm so old, and, like, not
I'm
even.
so old. So old.
Not even.
But see, I got some wisdom. Not a lot. I haven't worked on any Marvel movies, but I got something to share. Something for the youngins.
Do you speak Spanish?
Very poorly.
Do you understand it?
Yeah.
Do you know what escuinclas is?
No.
It's like like youngings, the brats or whatever. So yeah, something for the squinkles.
Oh yeah. See, so there you go.
There's a local restaurant, like Lassiter introduced it to me. He's like, oh, can I tell it my perspective? Yes, okay. Cause he was like, come on, let's go to Quinkles. I'm like, what's Quinkles? Come on, let's go to Quinkles. It's like they have raspas and stuff, and they have fruit. Quinkles. Okay, so we went to Quinkles, and it was actually the word esquinkles, you know. In Spanish, and like on the letter it's like X and then quinkles, and then they had like a little brat, like you know how they have the little hat and then the little helicopter thing.
Yeah.
Like that was their I'm like, this is esquinkles, like little brats or whatever. So yeah, I thought that was funny.
Well, it's funny when you see things from a different perspective, right? Like I remember being back in high school, and there was this kid that started coming here, and he was from like California or something. And he would always ride the bus to school, and there was always these two girls, their best friends, that would always sit behind him. And I remember him coming into class once, and he's like, man, I'm always joking with my friend on the bus, and there's these two Mexican chicks that always sit behind me, and they're always telling me like, yeah, and I don't know what the hell they're talking about. And it's like, are they saying yeah? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, dude, they're whatever the hell that you're doing, they're telling you to stop. They're not agreeing with whatever it is that you're doing, because he'd always like, he's bullshitting or whatever with his friend, and he's like, man, they're always saying yeah, and he's like, yeah, and he didn't get it, and I was like, dude, it's like it depends on how they say it. Is it yeah or yeah? Like, yeah, and he's like, yeah, I don't understand it, bro. Like, dude, whatever it is that you're doing, fucking stop. The both of them are not happy with whatever the hell that you're doing in front of them. They are not happy with it. See? They are not putting up with it. And they've been telling you every day that you get on that goddamn school bus, they're telling you, cut your shit.
See, you don't have to be 10 years older to be wise. You're just, what, in high school? That's hilarious.
All the best stuff, Perla, has been after. I mean, it's still recording. But you see, now that we're all loosey-goosey, that's something else. Like when you're shooting stuff, like with a client or whatever, like there's a lot of them that have like that deer in the headlights, and they're super personable. When the cameras are off, they're like the life of the party. And then it's like, okay, well, we're gonna get started. The lights are all set up. We got the camera going. Good lenses. Okay, now just say this line. I'm Hector Sanchez, and and they're just like, Jesus, what happened to you? Like, you were like the life of the party up until we said, okay, say this line, and then they just become awful. Do you get?
Yeah,
we all get that.
Yeah.
Yeah. People, they're the worst.
I know. There's this TikTok I saw. First of all, TikTok. I was like, whatever, and I know I've discussed this before, but like, you have hilarious people saying hilarious things in under a minute, and it's this clip of this girl. There's an alien filter. There's an alien filter, and she's like, I gotta show it to you, but she just talks about people in a very hilarious way from an alien's perspective. Like, I thought it was just perfect. I was like, yeah, that's people. That's us.
I think that by this time, that camera is still going. The audio is still recording. I have no idea if the wide is still recording. For sure, the other one is off. If we were, what I want to do, I'm running out of money. I'm so running out of money. What I would love to do is get another Ninja on the other camera, so you could just keep going, because stopping kills the progress of the conversation, I think. Like, it actually takes a good little while to like get comfortable, and like once the conversation kind of gets going, gotta stop, because this other camera, you only record so many minutes.
Yeah.
For sure that one's still going. This one, I don't know, maybe. The other one died for sure like 30 minutes ago.
Yeah. I think maybe like that's something you should do, like with your next host or whatever, or your next guest. Hector. Right, I was gonna call you Batman, but thank you for having me. It was fun. It was certainly a pleasure to speak to the dark
Knight.
The Dark Knight.
It was nice talking to you, Giggles. See, this is fun.
Yeah.
It's not that bad. How hard could this be? Shit. And you know, like when I was in college, this is over. It's done. Bam. Cut.